Hey, man, make sure you tip your waiters and waitresses, your wait staff. They're working hard for you. Show them a little love. Are you ready for your next comedian tonight? Here he is from the Queen City. Very, very, very funny dude. Mr. Alex Stone coming up.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, how about one more time for Daryl and for Bob? Let them hear it, right? Very funny. You guys having a good time so far? About half of you? All right, okay. See, like he said, I'll tell you a little about myself right off the bat. He said my name's Alex, and this is the best mustache that I can grow. Hey, all right. Thank you. It's because underneath this forest, I got a bit of a baby face going on, you know what I mean? Very baby, soft, smooth cheeks, I do. But then, underneath this hat, balding, okay, which is awesome, right? Because that means in another year, I'm going to actually look like a baby. So can't wait for that. Very excited. Just be a weird mustache baby walking around, creeping people out. That's a good look. It's not all bad, right? I mean, chicks like babies. They do. But do they like banging babies? That's what we're going to find out. Yeah. Tapping some toddler. Is that something that you... No? Okay. All right. See, not a baby anymore. I'm an adult, right? When I was born, my parents wanted to make... My full name is Alex, or Alexander. My last name is Stone. And when I was born, they wanted to make my middle name Simon, because that's my mother's maiden name. But then my initials would have been ASS. Ass, you can't name a baby that, right? No matter how much he gets. So what they did instead was make my middle name Lewis after my grandfather. So my initials are now ALS after Lou Gehrig's disease. Okay, way better. High five. Thank you so much. I guess I should be thankful that my grandfather's name wasn't Isaac David. That probably would have been worse. All right, this table right here, only once. AIDS. Okay, not a big spelling crowd. All right, good to know. See what else? I wanted to be a lot of weird stuff when I was growing up besides a comedian, you guys. For example, I wanted to be a superhero when I was little, but my parents refused to get murdered in front of me. So that joke was about Batman. Okay. See. As Daryl said, I'm from the Midwest. I like living in the Midwest. I don't think I could ever live in a big city like New York or something, you know what I mean? Like every time I go to New York, it's like I show up with a straw hat on and overalls with no shirt, you know what I mean? And I'm just standing there like, man, y'all got a McDonald's and a Burger King? What is this? Is this the future? Where are we? But where's your Walmart? I thought this was a big city. I don't know what's happened. Last time I was in New York, everybody, I'd ride the subway system all by myself, which if you've never done before is a very intimidating experience because everyone down there knows what they're doing. That's how they get around every day. So they have no patience for you if you don't. You can't stop and try and figure it out and be like, which one of these is E? Because from behind you, you just hear, what the f... Go! Move! It's like, dude, sorry, I'm struggling with the maze that you built down here. I don't have one of these where I live, right? That's like if you came over to my house for the first time and you're like, hey, man, I was wondering where the cups are. I was like, oh, you idiot, where are the cups? Just pick a thing, you hillbilly. People are thirsty. Right, so all right, I'm all right. I get down there and I figure out what I need to do. I'm alive. It's just crowded. There's people everywhere. I'm shoulder to shoulder. I have enough room to exist. This is me right here. At one point, my hand started to itch, everyone, and I couldn't even bring it up to go like that. I had to roll it and itch it on my pants like this. So remember this, as this is happening. The doors to the subway car have opened and shut, and no one's gotten off. Just more people have gotten on, so it's even more crowded. Now, a lady who's just gotten on the subway car yells as the doors are closing. She goes, I've had AIDS for 20 years. Nobody cut me or make me bleed. Okay, noted. Thank you very much. In 20 years, what are you, Magic Johnson? Why are you down here? You're a miracle. Get to the surface. So when she says that, there's a physical shift away from where she's standing in the subway car. Everyone's like, what's that? Okay, no thank you. And they move over here. So I'm just a buoy in a sea of people floating around at this point. I have no control over my body or where it goes, and I get shoved right up into this guy that's standing next to me, and my hand ends up right on his mic stand. Yeah, it does. And I'm not grabbing it, but if he was like, hey, catch this, I got it. You know what I mean? Like, I could tell you how much it weighs at this point. And I don't know what to do. If my hand was like this, I could move it away. That's a graze. But at this point, that is a stroke, everybody. Yeah. Yeah, that's a relationship or an assault, one of the two things. I'm not going to roll those dice. So I don't know what to do. I'm looking at what's going on. I look up at him, and I'm like, wow, okay, buddy. Woo. I'm from Ohio. I don't know what etiquette is here. I don't know what the move is. But I don't say anything, and he doesn't say anything. We just stare at each other for like 10 seconds with this very tense silence. And then that guy just looks away and lets me leave my hand there. That's his move, right? Yeah. And the train is going up and down as we're driving. I'm like, oh, okay. Lord, this is a jerky ride. I'll tell you that. So I just got to hold this thing for the next 3 or 4 stops until this guy finally gets off of the train. And it was awful, and I hated it, and not because I'm homophobic or anything, but if this is going to happen, I'm from the Midwest. That needs to mean something. You know what I mean? You don't have to buy me dinner, but at least tell me your name, sir. Don't make me feel like we're strangers doing this for drugs somewhere. That's why I don't think I could ever live in a big city, everyone. You know what I mean? Like, that was an event for me. I got off the train. I called people. I'm telling all of you. I washed my hands a lot. I did. But I watched that guy. He walked away like it was nothing. You know what I mean? He was like, ah, okay, Tuesday. HJ Tuesday, New York City. See something, say something. Do what you got to do. It's too much. I don't like the subway. I like driving too much. That's a Midwest thing. Driving everywhere you got to go, yeah. I had to get a new car recently, everybody, so I treated myself this time. I got myself a brand new 93 Honda Accord. I did, so feel pretty good. Thank you very much. Had to get a new car because my old one was a piece of garbage, right? I used to drive a Volkswagen, which is weird for 2 reasons. One, because I'm Jewish. And all right, about 4 people got that. The rest of you need to Google Holocaust on your phone real quick. And then start this one from the top. The other reason it was weird is because it broke down so often. It was like they were still trying to get me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're going to get you. Yeah, you can run, but you can't drive, that's for sure. It broke down a lot. Last year it broke down the highway just actually past Columbus, right? What happened was the alternator broke. Now you may know this, I didn't at the time. The alternator is the thing that while you're driving will charge your battery and make sure that everything in your car works. But at the time, I didn't even know it was a thing that existed. Like, you could have said the word alternator to me, and I've been like, oh, what kind of music do they play? That sounds like a good band. The alternator's cool. So it breaks, and your car just shuts off, and you roll to the side of the road. So I'm sitting there, and I don't know anything about cars, so I call my dad, because he does. I'm like, Dad, my car broke down. And he's like, well, what happened? I was like, what happened is that it switched to wagon mode, Dad, you know? The way they do, they get all wagony. That's what's going on. And he was like, you're kind of an idiot. I was like, yeah, a little bit. But his advice to me was that I should get out of my car, and he said that I should walk to the next exit and go to a gas station and see if the person working there would be able to help me. And I was like, what year do you think it is that is an option, right? This isn't the 30s where you walk into a gas station and some greasy guy comes out of the back holding a wrench and a rag on his shoulder because he heard a bell ring when I pulled in. No. I was like, people who work at gas stations now work at gas stations now because high school was too hard and meth isn't free. I'm not going to talk to that guy. No. Maybe I'll wait and see if Henry Ford drives by. That seems to be your plan of attack. Pop. But I did get out of my car to walk to a gas station, everybody. That's what happened. It was my only option, right? And I get out of my car on the highway. I get about 50 feet, and someone threw a bag of trash at me. They did. Yeah. Arby's bag right to the side of the face. 5 for 5. 5 individual items of trash in one larger bag of trash on my face. So that's good. The moral of this story, everybody, you know, is don't do that. Don't throw garbage at people. Look, if you see somebody walking on the side of the highway, guess what? Things aren't going well for them, you know? You don't need to knock them down a peg or two like, oh, check out this jerk on his high horse. Hey, suck on that, buddy. No. If he had a high horse, he would be riding it. He's walking on the side of the road. Give him a ride. As I mentioned earlier, I'm Jewish. Any other Jews here tonight? Oh, a very excited clap from the back. That's good. It makes me feel safe. We used to not being around a lot of Jews, right? Back in Cincinnati where I live, there's me, and then there's my mom, and then there you go. That's all of us, right? And that one guy here in Columbus. And So I've never dated a Jewish girl before. That's never happened for me, you know what I mean? I've dated a lot of girls that were not Jewish. One such girl in particular, on one of our very first dates, she asked me, she was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how Jewish are you? I was like, well, I just ordered the bacon cheeseburger, if that helps you solve this mystery. No? Well, we did come here because I had a coupon. Is this helping you at all? Getting a gauge? It's context clues. But she was really adamant. She wouldn't let it go. She wanted a number, you know what I mean? She was like, if you had to rate yourself, come on, 1 through 10, what would you be? I was like, a number? Jesus, I don't know. It's like, Christ, I'm not practicing, so this is putting me on the spot. Finally, I was like, I don't know, like a 3. I thought I was like a 3. Now, 3 is a small number. It is. But it's still a Jewish number, right? I'm still Jewish with a 3. But she interpreted a 3 as that was my way of saying that I wanted to now become a Christian. Yeah. Which it did not. No offense. But I was good with the 3 Jewishness that I was rocking at the time. Was it to rock the boat? We started dating after this, and for the next 6 months of our relationship, every Sunday morning she would wake me up to go to church with her. And I'm a nice, polite Jewish boy, you know what I mean? I went to church, you know, and I stood up, and I sat down, and then I stood back up, and then I sat back down. I did the hey church things in church. My whole knowledge of Christianity is based on the Sister Act movies, so I really have no idea what I'm doing. Like, where's Whoopi? Why aren't we dancing? I'm confused. I went to church a lot, you guys. I did. I went to church so often the other people in her church didn't know that I was Jewish. I went so often that I even went on Easter Sunday. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot, but I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to be there on that day. There's nothing for me to do. I can hold the door. Look at this. Oh, shalom. Welcome. Yeah. Mazel tov. Good for you. Enjoy the Lord or whatever you're doing in there. What I think is even worse, not worse, but more awkward for me, is that her church was not a church that did communion every week. They would do it one time a year there, right? And that one time a year is on Easter Sunday, right? So I never had to say, no thank you, no Jesus for me. This is my first time. My rookie season in the Jesus Super Bowl for these people. So I'm freaking out in the service about what I'm going to do when it's time to finally go get ourselves a peace or whatever. I don't know the right words that you guys use, but eventually it was snack time and everyone went to the front, right? They're very hungry. It's a long service you have there. So I'm having a panic attack at this point. I'm like, I don't want to get my cracker. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. And it's just a river of people going up to do that. And finally it gets back to the lady in the pew right across from me, and she's like waiting very politely. She's like, hey, after you, sir. And I was like, oh, no, thank you, ma'am. I had a big Easter breakfast this morning. Yeah, I'm all set. If you have any peeps, I'll get some of those. Those are really great. Maybe some chocolate eggs. But at this point, my girlfriend is like right behind me at this point, just urging me to get up and go do this. She's just pushing me down the aisle. She's like, hey, get up and do this for me. Whatever like that. You don't even know. I was like, hey, my mouth is going to catch on fire if I do this. This isn't a good idea. But she wouldn't let it go. She's like, no, you're making a scene. My whole family's here. Everyone's staring. Please get up and go do this. I was like, hey, listen, it's bad enough that people think that the Jews killed Jesus. I'm not going to eat him, too. What am I, Hannibal Lecter? No, thank you. No. No. No, Clarice. No, thank you. Oh. What? What? Peace be with you. I don't know what that means. All right? I'll be in the car. We broke up, you guys. We did, me and that girl. I'll tell you that. So now, when anybody asks me how Jewish I am, I'm about a 14. So, Merry Christmas. I don't want to go to church. That's what I'm saying. As bad as that relationship was, it's not the worst one I ever had. First relationship I ever was in was a long-distance relationship. And if you've never been in one of those before, I'll tell you what it's like. It's like you and whoever you're dating are making a bridge, right? You got to work together to make sure that that bridge stays standing in the middle. Like, for example, you can do whatever you can and make sure that your side of the bridge is just safe, strong, supportive, just a good side of the bridge, right? But then, if that other side of the bridge is just out banging other dudes, then that bridge will fall down. Yeah, and you can't get your stuff back because there's a river and then a bitch over there, so that's a tough day. It's a tough day for you. See, I had a lot of weird jobs before I started doing this. One of the worst jobs I ever had, not the worst but the weirdest, was a job where one day while I was working, I got fleas. Yeah, that's gross. The job had nothing to do with dogs or fleas. I was working for a company that flipped mobile homes when I got them. which is like the community college of flipping houses. That's what that is, right? Like, I'm going to take $200 and turn it into $240. Let's do this. Let's make some money. The day I got him, this I should have known was going to be a weird day, right? Like, me and my buddy drive out to this neighborhood, or field is what it really was, and we pull up to the place that we're supposed to be working on, and in the home next door, there's a guy outside cutting his grass. Totally normal. He's got no shirt on. Hey, whatever. It's America, right? On his shirtless chest, giant swastika tattoo. Yeah. Collarbone to belly button, just there for the world to see. Now, before we go any further, when you were tattooing a swastika on your body, that's really the only way you can go with it, you know? Like, you can't get a tasteful swastika tattoo on your ankle or your lower back. You're not tramp stamping a swastika, are you? No. You're going to get that tattoo to make a statement, right? And that statement is, of course, hey, I don't spend my money wisely. I don't do that. So to blame it on the Jews. My favorite part, that was not the only tattoo that he had, right? On the front, oh my gosh, giant swastika. On the back, what? Betty Boop. Really, those are the two. Okay. Your body, your choice, sir. Go get him. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, do I get out of my car and maybe get murdered? Or do I run away like the coward that I am? And I get out, and I start walking, and I'm fine. And I get in there, and I'm in the mobile home. I start laying out for what I need to do, drop cloths, paintbrushes, all that stuff. And I'm in there like a minute, 2 max, and I start to feel these tiny pinches on my legs and my stomach, and I was like, I don't like that at all. And I lift up my shirt, and I am covered in fleas at this point, right? Like I was like a fun dipstick for fleas, you know, just coated. So I run out to my friend who's still in the car. I was like, dude, there are fleas all over my body right now. What do I do? How do I get these off? He's like, I think you have to light them on fire. I was like, no, I do not have to do that. That's ticks, for one. That's what that is. And 2, they're all over my body right now. Your advice to light myself on fire? Have you been talking to swastika nips out here? I'm not doing that at all. It's very dangerous. It turns out the only way to get fleas off of your body, guys, if you don't have access to a flea bath, is to sit there and pick them off one by one by one. Yeah, like you're playing some gross white trash she loves me not game where it's like, oh, she loves me. Should have went to college. Hey, that's all from me, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your show. Thank you very much.
Alex Stone right there, everybody. I don't have time right now to go into it, but next time you see me, remind me to tell you this story about the time I clocked this dude with my fast food bag on the highway. It's an awesome one.